Hey guys, I want to talk with you a little bit tonight about finding success in life, and some observations and principles that I've found have been to be more or less a universal, always applicable reality of what success looks like and how it manifests and how it generally unfolds in our lives. There's a couple things that I just want to share with you. So the first thing that came to mind is I wish I had the graphic to share with you, but there was a really cool graphical depiction of what anybody's success story looks like for the most part, for most of us people in life, with anything we do. Any form of success that you find, it generally maps out this same path. The shape of the pictorial graphic that I wish I had to share with you is basically like a U shape on a graph format, with time on one axis moving from the left to the right, and on the up and down axis you could say is the level of success or what have you. But basically it's very simple. You know, when you start out at the 0 point with some idea or some goal in mind or some sort of thing that you're after, the graph starts moving to the right forward in time, and it starts to descend, and it goes way down into a deep pit, and it rounds out at some point, and then it slowly starts to climb out of this pit, and it starts to rise, and it climbs eventually at some exponential rate and shoots through the 0 point of the axis and keeps on going, to sky high, out to the moon, whatever you want to say. And that's basically like a general high level concept to understand about anything that you do or attempt and try in life that you're wishing to have success with. It generally maps out this path where you start out with some idea in your head, you meet resistance, you find yourself in some pit of despair, you doubt yourself, you sink deep into this valley section where you're not sure if it's going to work out and things aren't looking so good. And if you hang with it long enough, it's going to pay off, and the trend will reverse itself, and you'll climb out of it, and you will find the success that you're after. And there's a difference in life between those that give up at the bottom point of the graph and just kind of stop what they're doing and forget about their aspirations, whatever they are. But there's those others that push through those sorts of time periods on the graph, and they persevere, and they make it, and they find the way, and they get to ride out the upward portion of the graph, which is the good times and the enjoyment and the fulfillment factor that comes along with anything great that you're going to do in life. So I just wanted to paint that picture for you and let you know that is a real thing. I think anybody who's found success in life, I guarantee you, if you were to talk to them about their story, they would more or less describe a similar experience whereby, like I said, they started out with an idea, they went through some rough times, they doubted themselves, they had a rocky road for some period of time in their lives, and they figured it out, they climbed out of it, and now things are just phenomenal, but beyond their wildest dreams. And it's something that you need to remember. Anytime you're doing something, I think there's an inclination for a lot of us that we want a quick payoff. We want instant gratification, right? We want that graph to just look like something that starts from a 0 point and just, immediately starts out moving in the positive trend. It just keeps on going up and, goes through the roof and whatever. But I'm just here to call your attention and your mind back to this reality. That's not the way it works. That's not realistic. You need to keep that in mind with whatever you're doing. And basically, I'm trying to get you to not be discouraged at those low points in the valley where you're feeling the despair and you're feeling the defeat and you're questioning whatever it is you're doing. You need to ride through that period, because that's just part of everybody's graph. Anybody in life that's ever existed on this earth that's found success, I guarantee you, has had some measure of that. So I just want to remind you of that, and like I said, to paint that picture and keep that graph in your brain the next time you're going through something and you're like trying to make something better out of your life, you're trying to do something great. You've got to keep this mindset about you. And to piggyback on top of that and to build on that concept, something that I think about when I consider this sort of mentality and approach to whatever it is you're doing in life. I have kind of adopted this, like, as the name of the post says, the Newtonian success principle. And what that means basically is, Newton's third law asserts that for anything that happens in the universe, there is any force that occurs in the universe, let's say, there's an equal and opposite reaction to whatever that force is. So, in my mind, when you consider somebody that is looking for success, right, you want a very positive force to come out of, like, whatever your idea is or whatever your thing you're after is. But with like this like Newtonian mindset of equal and opposite sorts of things going on in life and in the universe, I think this principle applies in the exact same way. It's like, basically, like, if you want a very big upside, you're going to have to experience some measure of a downside in some way, shape, or form. And that is basically to correlate back to what I said earlier, that the bottom section of that U-shaped graph that I was mentioning before, where it's like, you can't expect to have phenomenal, amazing success without going through some shitty periods, without going through some dips and valleys. And it's just like, you need to keep that mindset about you with whatever you're doing. It's almost like, learn to expect it, learn to embrace it, learn to love those peaks and valleys, because, the further you go into those valleys, you can just rest assured that, like, if you have the resolve and the strength and the perseverance to ride through those times, you can almost be assured that there is going to be an upside to that, based on Newton's principle of equal and opposite reactions, that there is going to be a very big positive and an upside to that negative, whatever it is you're experiencing. And I think the grand thing about, the universe, just the way that it works, is that it almost rewards you in an exponential manner, in my brain, where it's like, if you show that perseverance and you hang through those negative dips, whatever they are, like, you might be paid back like tenfold down the road for hanging through that and for persevering and doing the hard work and hanging in there and, like, believing in yourself, believing in what you're doing. It comes back at you in, like I said, almost more of like an exponential way, I feel like, for most people, most things that they're doing and most of their pursuits. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Whatever you're doing in life, like, do not get discouraged. Do not hang your head when you're walking through those valleys. You're going through that, the dip in that graph period, whatever it is that you're doing. Just try to keep these two things in your brain, and I think it'll keep your mindset in the right place to just continue doing what you're doing. And just, you have to believe in yourself. You have to know, if you're really truly passionate and, like, love something that you're trying to create, love something you're trying to make, you have to believe in it, and you have to just know that there is going to be an upside if you can outlast the downside that's presented to you at this present moment in time, which, by the way, is just a moment and is going to pass and will be behind you at some juncture. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.